friends and welcome to my channel IB Designing Developer. So just think of a smartphone. It's more than just numbers. It stores contacts, it stores messages and even photos. So similarly, Java non-primitive data types go beyond basic numbers and allow us to handle complex information. So in this video, I will be telling you that what are non-primitive data types in Java like strings, arrays, class and objects and interface. So Java non-primitive data types help us to organize, structure and process real-world data efficiently, just like your smartphones keep everything in order. So I hope you'll be enjoying this video in which we will be learning about non-primitive data types in Java. So if you understand this video and if you enjoy this amazing tutorial here, so remember to hit a like to this video. And if you're new on this channel, remember to subscribe and after subscribing hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading on this channel. And share this video as well so more people can learn about these amazing things which we are covering up through this amazing Java tutorial series. So now what we are waiting for? Let's dive into it. So like I've told you to start today in this video, I will be telling you that what are non-primitive data types in Java. So now let's get started and see what are non-primitive data types and how we use these data types in Java. So if we talk about that, what are non-primitive data types? So basically non-primitive data types are called reference types because they refer to objects, and this is really important thing. So I'll be highlighting this. Remember, when you are working with non-primitive data types, they are called as reference types because they refer to objects. The main differences between primitive and non-primitive data types are primitive types in Java are predefined and built into the language, while non-primitive types are created by the programmer except for a string. Non-primitive types can be used to call methods to perform certain operations, whereas primitive cannot. Primitive types start with a lowercase letter like init, while non-primitive type starts typically with an uppercase letter like a string. Primitive types always hold a value, whereas non-primitive types can be null. Example of non-primitive types are string, arrays, classes, etc. You will learn more about these in later chapter. So remember, there are many data types which we use in Java, but two types of data means there are two types of data which normally we use in Java: primitive data types and non-primitive data types. So in this video, I will be telling you about non-primitive data types here, and some examples of non-primitive types are string, arrays and classes. These are the most commonly used non-primitive data types which we use in Java. So what I'm going to do is I'll be just opening my NetBeans IDE here, and after opening NetBeans IDE, we will be working on these three data types here, means these three non-primitive data types which we have seen here. So what I'm going to do is I'll be removing all these things which we have added in the previous video in which we were just working on real life example with data types. So I will be now just moving here, and then we will be starting with normal data types here which we does like non-primitive data types. And I have told you that there are different non-primitive data types, but most commonly used non-primitive data types are string, arrays and classes. So I will be just doing like this. I'll be getting all the things. So I'll be moving on to my Word document here, and you can just see we are getting here a text which says me that primitive types in Java are predefined and built into the language, while non-primitive types are created by the programmer except for string. So like I've told you that there are three types of non-primitive types: string, arrays and classes. So these arrays and classes which we normally see, these are called as non-primitive types because these are created by a programmer. String is also called as non-primitive data type, but it is not created by a programmer because it is a string, and a string normally used in primitive data types as well. That's why string will be not created by programmer. Arrays and classes are created by programmer. That's why they are called as non-primitive data types. Remember, the data types which are being created by programmer, that will be called as non-primitive data types. String is not being created by programmer, but still they called as non-primitive data types because string is also used in primitive data types commonly and in non-primitive data types as well. So you can just see, you can just say as string is similarly used in primitive and non-primitive data types. So non-primitive types can be used to call methods to perform certain operations, whereas primitive types cannot. This is really big difference, that non-primitive types can be used to call methods and to perform certain operations, and that's really amazing, whereas primitive types cannot do these things here. Primitive types typically start with a lowercase letter like init, while non-primitive type start typically with a uppercase letter. Means when you're using any non-primitive data type, so there you need to use every string or every data type with the uppercase letter. Like if I'm creating a data type of a string, so S should be capital of a string. And primitive type hold a value, whereas non-primitive data types can be null. Means primitive type always hold a value, whereas non-primitive types can also be null. So that's not a big difference. Then examples of non-primitive types we have seen here. So what I'm going to do is I'll be just moving on to my NetBeans IDE, and then we will be starting normally with a string here. So I will be removing this thing like this, and then I will be creating like this a comment, and here I will be writing non-primitive data type, so that you will be also having a good understanding that now we will be creating non-primitive data types here. So I will be writing like this. So you can just see we are getting these non-primitive data types here, and now I will be just moving down, and then we will be creating a string. In a string I will be writing the value as you can create any variable after a string. So the variable which I will be creating here as like you can say free for user, and then in this value I will be writing 25. So this is the value which I have printed. Then I will be moving down, and after moving down again I will be creating an array. In array I will be writing a string which will be a variable which will be as array, here I will be writing like free for user 1 equal to 30. Then I will be moving down, and we will be creating a class, and again for class we will be again doing same thing like class, and then here I will be writing free for user 2 equal to 35. So these are the number which we have added here. So now what I'm going to do is I'll be printing these all things here, and for printing this I will be writing here a string like this. This is the string which we have printed. Then in the place of this I will be writing here array, or you can write here normally your name, your variable name as well. Like I will be writing free for user 1. This is the variable. Then same goes to here, I will be writing free for user like this. Then move down, and then you have to create another variable here. Means another variable we will be printing, because we have created 3 variables. So I will be writing free for user 2. Now when I will be printing these all things, you will be getting the output. I will be running it by pressing this run file here. After pressing run file, you can just see we are getting an error, and in error it is saying me that exception in thread main java.lang.runtime exception error we are getting. It is saying me that the source code which you are writing is uncapitable. So we need to make it capitable so that we can get all the things printed successfully in the output. And for doing that, what I'm going to do is I'll be just adding here a string like this. If I do that again, we will be getting an error. So that's why I will be just writing my string name like this here, and then here as well I will be writing my array name. Then I will be removing class from here, and this will be our class name. Now if I print these all things here in the output by pressing right click and run file, so you can just see again we are getting an error which says me that free for user means you have created these variables, but when you are creating these variables, so you are not getting all the things printed. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'll be making all the things perfectly like we were just getting previously on like this. And now here we have added init item. So in place of init I will be writing a string. If we write here a string like this, so now when I will be printing this all things here by pressing right click and run file, so you can just see again we are getting an error here because we are printing all these things with these string values. So that's why we are getting this. But if I write here init, so now you will be getting these init values like this, because these are primitive data types which we are using. But if you want to use non-primitive data types, so like I've shown you that how you can use non-primitive data types, so for that you again need to use that things which we were just working on previously. So I'll be removing these things here now, and then I will be removing the under things as well in this print variables which we have added here. So I will be removing these all things from this print variables, and now we will be only writing like this system.out.println. So when we need to print anything, we will be using this thing to print. So I will be moving on to my Word document, and here we have to use string, arrays and classes. So I will be just moving on to my NetBeans IDE. The string you need to create here, and then you can create any name, like you can create items equal to 20 like this, and then again you can just create like this a string, and then if you want to print this string you can add items here. like this. And now if you edit this string here and if you run this, so you will be just getting here, it is saying me that init cannot be converted into Java. So I will be now adding like this. And now when you are working with a string, so you need to write a string like this in semicolon or in double quotes here. So I'll be writing single quote, and here I will be writing my string name. A string name will be like, this is a string like this. Then if I want to create an array, I will be writing array, and then I will be writing here like numbers equal to, then for array I will be again writing this thing, and then I will be writing this is numbers. And for printing this, I will be writing here numbers, so that I can print this thing here. I will be writing this is a number like this, or you can write in colon as 5 here. So if I print this string first of all by using this string items and items here, so now you will be getting an output here. So I will be printing it, right click here and then press run file. If I run it, so you can just see it is saying me that erroneous tree type any. So for that we need to just add here another thing. So it should be double quotes here. So I will be writing here and here as well. So if I print this again, right click and run file, so you can just see we are getting here, this is a string printed, and means our string values are working like this. Because we were just using single quotes here, that's why we are not getting the output. But when I have used double quotes in the place of single quotes, then we were just getting this string value printed. So this is the way to use these string values here and to print these non-primitive data types which you are using here in Java. So I hope you understand that what are non-primitive data types in Java, how we can use non-primitive data types, and basically what's the use to use these non-primitive data types here in Java. So if you have understand this video and if you have understand about non-primitive data types here, so remember to hit a like to this video. And if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like this, so remember to subscribe. And after subscribing, hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading in future. So I will be just meeting you in next tutorial or in next project using Java from start support today. Goodbye.